pessoal, estamos deixando as pessoas conectarem aí, vou esperar ver as coisinhas dando ótimo. Acho que falta só um, dois. Muito bem. Olá a todos, eu sou Josefine, eu sou a diretora executiva do Projeto Paradiso. Para quem não me conhece, estou aqui com a minha equipe querida Luísa Safo. E bem-vindos. Hoje temos a honra de receber, para um breve bate-papo informal, a Lara González e a Alessia Acone, ambas do mercado do Festival Internacional de Roterdã, a IFFR Pro, e em especial do Cinemart. E a presença da Tati Leite, grande Tati, produtora, que já passou pelo Cinemart e vai nos contar um pouco da sua experiência. Esse papo vai ser em inglês, mas fiquem à vontade, se não quiserem fazer perguntas em inglês, podem fazer em português e a gente pode traduzir. Também fiquem à vontade, se quiserem abrir suas câmeras para a gente saber quem está aqui, é sempre mais legal ver os rostinhos bonitinhos de todos vocês. Então, isso. So now, in English, thank you, Lara and Alessia, for being with us tonight, no, this morning, actually. And it's a pleasure. This actually was an idea that Alessia gave when we were in Cannes earlier this year. And she said that surprisingly, Brazil, who usually is swarming labs and markets with applications, there might be something to do to have for Brazil to be closer to Cinemart. And Cinemart is an amazing experience, as Tati will let us know. So we thought, okay, yes, so let's talk about Cinemart more in Brazil, so that not in terms of more, but maybe just the projects that are fit for Cinemart could apply. So we're very happy to have this Q&A. The call for Project for Cinemart is currently open until September 1st, so you do have time. You do have time to prepare a nice application, more than a month. And I'm sure that all the tips that Alessia and Lara will give us and global understanding and context will help you in doing that. So with no further ado, please, Alessia, head of IFFR Pro, can you tell us a bit about Cinemart and the current edition, maybe?
Hello, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me properly? Right, this time? Good. Nice to meet you all. My name is Alessia Acone. I'm the head of IFFR Pro, that is the industry umbrella of the International Film Festival of Rotterdam. I'm not alone today. And with me, there's Lara González Lobo, my colleague, who is the Cinemart project manager. And Lara and I work very closely on the co-production market already for a couple of years. The co-production market is 42 years old. It's going to be 42 years old in 2025. And it's part of the overall umbrella of IFFR Pro. We made a small presentation or small slides. I don't know if it's something that you want to see while we talk, or shall we do it a little bit? Yeah?
I can share, yes.
Okay. You want to do it? Thanks, Lara. So you're going to see a little bit what we do and how we do it. I'm going to just give a little bit of a brief presentation of IFFR Pro, that, as I said, it's the industry umbrella, has a lot of activities underneath. Mainly is the main activity is indeed Cinemart, connected to the co-production market, where we select 17 projects per year, project in development. There is also a recently added section that is called Darkroom, and that's for it's a work in progress section for previously supported project. This means a project that have been previously presented at Cinemart, or previously part of our talent activities program, or previously supported by Uberbals Fund, that is the fund that is connected to the International Film Festival of Rotterdam. I'm pretty sure that you all know HBF, and that you had at least applied once to the fund. IFFR Pro has other, as I was mentioning, other activities underneath. One big strand is related to talent development. And two of the programs that I included in this slide are connected to the talent development programs. And one is Rotterdam Lab. This year is 25 years old, and it's going to be welcoming. It's going to welcome 70 plus producers from all over the world, emerging producers. We have a collaboration together with the EAVE and Realness Institute, and we work on the Indaba Creative Producer Program. So these are the two main talent development. There is a Pro Hub as well, and it's a service that we have with for the filmmakers with a film in the festival. So we offer mentorships, we offer a pitching session and tailor-made activities for the filmmakers that come to Rotterdam with a film and can discover much more on the industry side. But since we're here for Cinemart, I will kind of leave the floor to Lara, because she's going to be telling you a lot more about the co-production market and the next edition.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Ale. Well, very briefly, I'm Lara. I'm Spanish, but it's been some years now working at IFFR Pro and now at Cinemart, coordinating the market together with Alessia. So just to dig a bit more on what Alessia was saying about the market, we are celebrating this year our 42 edition already. This is, well, we will be taking place as always during the festival, which this year will be the first week of February. So here you have the dates and main information to be updated with. So a bit of basic information that you can find, of course, in our website, but we're happy to also dig into here. It's, well, the functioning of our market, which is that we select every year 15, 16 projects in development features, plus 4 or 5 projects, virtual reality projects in development. And then we welcome their representatives in Rotterdam during 4 days within the umbrella of the festival. And there we organize a sort of very curated program for them in terms of tailor-made schedule of meetings, but they also have specific mentors together with them that accompany them throughout the whole process. And then they also present their projects in a public session to industry representatives. So that's a bit what's happening in Rotterdam during those 4 days. In terms of the selection, as Josephine was saying, we work with an open call of projects that it's been open already since May, and it will be still open until September 1st. So we are very happy to receive your projects. There's still a lot of time to work on dossiers and all that. It's also good to know that we work with sort of 2 phases of selection. So in the first phase, we do not require a dossier. It's only like an entry submission form. So you can check it in our website, and it's very well, it's of course less work than a dossier. Then if you get to the second phase, you will be required to work on that, and you will have a week to deliver that PDF. That's always, you know, the most of the work. And then, well, that's a bit of our goal, as I was saying, is, you know, welcoming all these teams of director and producer in Rotterdam and make sure that they find their creative and financial partners while they are there, not only through Cinemart, but also through other things that we do at IFFR Pro, as Ale was saying, which can also be, you know, meeting the Rotterdam Lab producers and attending other networking events. So it's a very fun market to attend. So, well, here it's the basic things to take into account if you want to apply to Cinemart. These are the main requirements in the things we look for, which are feature films, fiction, hybrid, experimental. We do not work with straightforward documentaries, but other than that, we love everything in between, let's say. The projects that are submitted need to have both a director and a producer. This cannot be the same person, because we also believe very much in the work, of course, of the producer as a creative role in that process. Projects can be from anywhere in the world, but they have to be set up as an international co-production. This doesn't mean that they have to be an international co-production when they apply, but, you know, ideally, of course, they need to be looking forward to meeting people from other parts, and you have to justify why and why you want to find a partner specifically at Cinemart. In terms of budget, well, that's the top budget that we work for in terms of projects. We do not have specific or strict requirements in terms of which budget or which financing in place a project must have when submitting. We always recommend that it has like around between a 15 and a 40% of the financing in place. And ideally that it also has national financing in place. But, we are also flexible in that sense, and we are always happy to answer questions in that regard. So you can also reach out to us. And also, lastly, it's very important for us when we create this selection that the projects that we showcase are kind of new to the international market. Like this doesn't mean that they can have been presented in other more local or regional markets, but if they have been exposed internationally in markets that are similar to us, it's for us, we want to prioritize that. We give to the industry representatives that come to Rotterdam something that's fresh and new for them to jump in and collaborate there. So in terms of the selection, as we were saying, we receive around, let's say, 400 projects, and then we select 15. So for us, it's a long process there. We work with external selection committee members, and also the IFFR Pro is also involved. So it's a very mixed group of people from all backgrounds, and both professionally and geographically. And it's a long selection process that usually we want to create a very balanced selection in terms of, first features, but also more experienced directors. And then as well in terms of topics and size of projects. For example, last year we had 2 animations, but we also have a more commercial film. So, we are also very eclectic in that sense. And for us, in terms of selection criteria, the main thing is the artistic vision of the project itself, but also the team behind it. Both the track record of the director, which can be his or her first film, but also the producer together with this person, and why this producer is accompanying this person and this project. That's also why we also like to understand what's the motivation behind both figures in this process. Yeah, as I was saying, these are projects that are, of course, fitted in the editorial line of our festival, which is, we're always on the look of fresh voices and very strong authorial voices. And then there's, of course, the most boring part, let's say, but the feasibility and the financial strategy behind the project. The fact that this is going to be something that will happen, and that we have some guarantees also there to back it and present it in Rotterdam, which is a big market after all. And also the timing, that it's not too early or too late for you. That's also very keen in submitting for us. Here we have just like three pictures of some projects that have participated in Cinemart years ago. Here, Baby, that just recently premiered in Cannes and was part of also the Boost&L program, which is also under our talent strand. Medusa also was there in 2018. And here that we have Tati, we had Benzinho, also then premiering at Rotterdam. So that's a bit of what we do. And this is like a very quick summarize of the main things we look for. But then I give the word again to Ale, and maybe we can talk afterwards in a sort of Q&A or whatever you need.
Thank you, Lara. That's a quite natural jump to leave the floor to Tati, who has been to Cinemart several times and wearing also different hats, being a project representative twice, and being on the other side as a potential co-producer for the project that we showcased and in other years. So I'll leave you the floor to you, Tati, and then maybe ask you also a couple of questions if you don't mind at the end. Okay?
Yes, I've been to Cinemart with Benzinho in its early, it was not that early stage, already have a nice version of the script. And it was our second market. And it was the place that we met our potential co-producer from Germany, who actually didn't stay in the project by the end, but helped us in the development. And it was the place also where we've met many people, different people from the industry, that got to know that the project exists. It was the second feature of the director, Gustavo Pizzi. His first feature, that it's really beautiful, was a tinier film. So the film didn't get the visibility that it could, but it was fun because everybody, a lot of people that came to see us in Cinemart, they did their homework. They came already knowing, because I think we've sent the link of the previous film. So it was very interesting to get to know this crowd. I have the impression that in Cinemart, the people that came to meet the project, they were really curious to find out new voices, new visuals, new languages. That when we pitched the project, they were very attentive, and I with ears, I understood this is not happening everywhere. I think there's many markets that people are the producers less, but the sales, the programmers, they feel somehow obliged to attend. But it's in Cinemart, I felt it was more genuine, that it was really I needed to find new things, that I think it's associated also to the fact that Rotterdam has a very distinguished program with some sections really aiming first and second features, the main sessions, but also in parallel other sections with more experienced filmmakers. And I remember from my Cinemart days that I was in a year that Lucrecia Martel was also presenting her project. So for us, it was like a super interesting experience that we were presenting ourselves, our project in a table, and Lucrecia was a few tables closed, also presenting hers. And it's of course, it's about that. It's about the meetings. It's about how you understand better your project when you started to pitch it. It's very interesting for the relationship director-producer that I understood in Cinemart, the strengths, the weakness, things that we need to improve, things that I needed to watch out. So also as this work experience, it's very interesting. And it's also happening in an amazing film festival. And you were part also of all the events that the festival promotes, organize. And it's also the chance to meet more people than the people that you meet in the meetings. Because you have like the cocktails, the parties that are also in Rotterdam, very interesting to talk around, to really, because it's not overcrowded. The people in the festival, they are not as stressed as they are in Cannes or Berlin. So I think there are more quality meetings, even spontaneous ones besides the ones that we have. So these are, like as someone that presented the project afterwards, I presented Princess by Karine Teres, which is a first feature. And it was really awesome because it was very new. We had the first version of the script. I think we felt the potential of the film with the interest that it raised, and we closed the co-production right after Cinemart with someone that we met in Cinemart. So it was very good for the project.
You mentioned like these two different experience, right? And I think I want to jump on the fact that you said that Loveling was a much more advanced, and it was already in a good kind of moment to be internationally showcased, and for Princesa was a much earlier, and so this is also underlines the fact that we select project in different stages for sure. And when we usually have been asked like when is the right moment, well, the answer is it really depends per project. So it's a way to kind of make you understand that it's for sure it's better earlier than too late. It's because if a project that has already I don't know, example, a quite consolidated co-production structure. You have already, I don't know, secured sales, or like there is only not a lot to be put into the plate. Then it will be maybe that it's too late. So try to kind of consider this exercise in comparing two different projects and the different moments in which they have been presented. And Tati, since it is different to be there with a project and then be there as a delegate and looking for potential projects to jump on board, what is it usually drives you to Cinemart as a potential co-producer? What are you looking for?
Well, first of all, I know about yeah, I can certify by the quality of the project. So, you know, I'm confident that when I receive the book of the project, that whatever I'm gonna fall for is going to be at least interesting, if not very good. And I think I always feel this equilibrium, like this balance between very first-timer filmmakers, also more established filmmakers. Actually, a few years ago, I've met a couple of directors, Joana Hadi Thomas and Khalil Jorge from Lebanon, and they were presenting a project that I loved. In fact, the producers were much more famous and experienced than me. They were like one of the main French producers in French contemporary cinema. But we had this amazing talk, and we got deeper, like trying. I really tried to do it with them. Unfortunately, the politics in Brazil didn't allow me to stay in the project because of, you know, it was exactly in the year of the coup the state that they started to freeze the Brazilian cinema agents' activities, and unfortunately the open calls, the grants for international co-production were suspended. But for me, it was really interesting to understand that there was this entry for you know, a younger producer to get on board of a project that it was a bigger project afterwards. And I also like this diversity in terms of world panorama, differently from the Venice competition that it's 80% European and American. Cinemart is much more democratic with the regions of the world. So it also gives us opportunity to meet other Latin American projects Asian projects. I mean, it's this diversity. I think it counts a lot when you're trying, to find interesting new possibilities of films to co-produce.
Okay, I see that Luisa is helping in putting the questions on the chat. I saw one.
Bon,
Yeah.
I just want to add that
Mm.
I think it was great to have Tati's testimony, and thank you for your time, all of you, to share with our potential applicants. I also want to remember everyone that if your project is selected at Cinemart, and it's a fiction majority Brazil, then you automatically receive a fellowship of 10,000 reais to help with your participation. You can use that for your ticket or other needs that you might have. So we'd be very happy to support the next Brazilian project that Cinemart may be in this room. So yes, now for questions. One of them is, do you work with shorts? From Gabriel Gomes.
Ale? No? No, we work strictly with feature films or virtual reality formats. So no shorts for now. Yeah.
No shorts for now. So Gabriel, there you go. Guy is also thanking you for your time and generosity, and asking how important it is to have financing secured in Brazil to submit the project. He's starting the project from scratch and didn't have an opportunity to raise funds in the market yet. So he might not have this by September 1st, which sounds realistic. So is that a problem?
Lara, help me with this as well. Of course, there is also a kind of flexibility in terms of like when you submit a project. If the deadline is September 1st, things will maybe change by the end of when we start the final selection. So we always ask all the applicants to kind of keep us posted if things change. So I know if maybe in the moment of the deadline, you don't have that 15, 20, up to 40 financing in place, but you know that you're waiting for some crucial answer that will probably make a huge difference in October, then it's something that you can point out in the entry form. Of course, then we will expect you to kind of update us in how the process is going. But that's a way also for us to, for example, I had this kind of a similar conversation not too long ago with Italian producers. And I don't know if you heard about the situation that it's in Italy and how the public funding are actually not being blocked by the government. So like, for example, for an Italian project would be quite difficult to have any financing in place because nothing has been confirmed. But maybe it's going to be September, maybe it's going to be October. So if there are applicants that have this kind of situations, we keep that in mind.
Adding to what Ale was saying, which we are always happy to reply to this kind of questions, and we encourage it because that helps also our own process. But maybe sometimes it's a good exercise to think that if a year from now you could still apply to Cinemart, maybe you should wait to next year, because then your project would be in a much solid position. Because again, with the amount of things we read and the few we select, it's also good to think maybe I'm in a stronger position next year. So you can also think about it in that perspective. And then, of course, we trust the producers, because sometimes they ask, I don't have the 50%, but can I do it anyway? And it's like, of course, you know better than me. Like, this is what we recommend, but then, you know best. So, yeah.
And one note on this thinking process, it's also that we usually don't allow resubmission. So that's also something to keep in mind for you to
very
to consider.
important. You don't allow resubmissions. All right. So choose wisely the time when you apply. We have a question from Danilo Godoy.
Hello, everybody. Can you listen to me?
Yes.
Okay. Alessia, Lara, and all of you from Paradiso, thank you very much for this meeting. I have a specific doubt because I am a Brazilian filmmaker and I'm between Portugal and Brazil. I do already like co-productions between the two countries. But recently I met a German producer. So I would like an advice because I don't know if it's better for me to do like a duo with me as a Brazilian director and a Portuguese producer, or a Brazilian producer, or invite a German producer to be with me. Do you have any kind of like a specification of what was like the best teaming for the submission?
There's not like the perfect recipe, I'm afraid. And that it really depends on if you allow me the comparison of the kind of dish that you want to make. So I'm not able to answer this question. I don't know if Lara, you have the different take, or Tati also. I think this is also more of a advice to be asked to a fellow maker than us that we are serving a different goal.
Well, I dare to say that the combination Brazil-Portugal might be more interesting for international markets. I think German, France, they have so many things already that I dare to say that it's not it's not that it's going to be against you, but you not be a priority anymore because you already have one of the the very present co-production countries with you. Even though Brazil co-produce a lot with Portugal, Portugal is still a cinema that since they don't produce a lot, there is a certain I realize from programmers and everywhere that it's always very precious to have a Portuguese project.
Okay, and just thank you very much. And just one extra doubt regarding this. And in the case of because my doubt is it will be my first time to submitting something to Cinemart, so I'm also kind of like studying if it's better for me to be like a Brazilian team with a Brazilian producer and me as Brazilian director, or a Portuguese producer and me as a Brazilian director. I don't know if in this other scenario, if you can tell me a little bit.
I think it both can work, but being a Brazilian project, then I think Lara and Alessia can tell me more. But the idea of going to Cinemart is actually among a few is for you to meet possible partners. So arriving already with a package of co-producers, maybe I mean, the project will be selected by its quality first, and I think about your, background and, there are a few criterions, but at a certain moment, the countries already involved can be an issue. And if you have already many, I think it will count against you and not in your favor. I mean, that's what I think about all the co-production market.
Yeah, it is a matter of like again the timing. So if the project is already a little much more developed than others, and the co-production structure is already in place, and there are only a few things missing, then it's also like why are you applying for a co-production market? Maybe you need a different kind of platform. Maybe you need more of a gap financing market, or something that brings the project to the final stage. So I think that is like the kind of allow me the term, the homework that the creative team should do and see, like, is this the right fit for my project? Do I need this platform or something else? So again, my answer to the same question that you had before, Danilo, it's also, there's not a perfect answer or a perfect straightforward answer to this.
And also, I think when you apply, for us, it's more than those combinations, the one or the other, it's that you justify what you want to find at Cinemart and which kind of partners and why depending on your project. So it can be Portugal, Brazil, but then maybe you go to Cinemart and the month after will be the other way around. So it doesn't, it's just like in that moment, what's your motivation behind that structure, and then anything can happen. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
If anybody else wants to ask a question, it's time to raise a hand or send it in the chat. And while we wait for maybe the next question, I know that something that's been very useful is the do's and don'ts, the things you cannot write on your website, the things that only the people in this room will ever know. So, you know, what have you seen over the course of the years that made an application stand out, and what has made you like say, oh no, this is out? Just, you know, kind of the tips, insider tips.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of examples, and we can say some good practices. Well, one of the things that Lara also pointed out, it's also like we need to see the artistic vision, and then we need to see the team behind the project. So never forget about previous works. That's one thing, because if something like that, it's not something that we can trace, that's going to be difficult for the committee to assess the project. And this can be really different kind of work, but we need to have a proof of the artistic vision of the makers. So that's one of the do's for sure. Another one, Lara, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, for example, for us, it's very important, the filmmaker behind the proposal, but also the producer, why the producer is supporting that. So I think those two notes are very key in what we select. And also personally, I don't know, Ale, but like I always want to feel emotionally in a way connected to this text. I don't like these texts that are very aseptic, and because in the end, it's not like you're pitching in a, I don't know, a business environment. In the end, it's humans reading this project. So once you feel connected to the motivation behind a producer, also it touches you in a deeper way. So and then also, of course, the treatment for us, which is something that we didn't mention, but it's like we do not request scripts. We read treatments when we request the dossiers to submit projects. And I think what I always comment with filmmakers is that make this like send this treatment to your grandmother, to your mother, like someone that make it someone outside of your own bubble of the project and of your producer has to read it and tell you if it is understandable, because sometimes we read things that you clearly see that there's something there, but you don't quite understand, and we cannot get in the filmmaker's head in that sense. So it's always good to check it with external parties. So yeah, something else, I don't know.
What about the don'ts?
The don'ts. Tati, help us.
Você tá no mudo, Tati.
I think don't lie in your dossier. This is really important.
Said the producer.
I'm very surprised that sometimes when I'm in different commissions, Brazilians or not, when I see the information doesn't translate the reality, and I think it's something not good. That should you more honest, more people can connect with the project, and if it's a project that it's an early stage but it's a strong project, I think will be taken in consideration. If there's a structure, there's a bond between producer and director, something solid in that sense. Just I think this is very important to try to be realistic and honest in the dossiers.
Yeah. And again, it also goes back to what we were saying before, that if something is not present at the very moment of the presentation of the entry form or the presentation of the dossier, just try to stay in touch with the markets. Not just it's not an advice only for Cinemart, but also for the rest of future submissions that you will have. Like keep the teams involved and keep the teams updated on the process of your projects. That's definitely something that we appreciate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a don't and a do would be like, don't apply to markets or platforms that don't fit your project's editorial line, and do some research in that specific market and kind of yeah, you know, change your dossier towards that editorial line, because, you know, that's, for us, it's also easier to redirect our own eyes towards like, oh, okay, this fits our own, you know, vision. So it's a lot of work, of course, but that will increase your possibilities also. So yeah, and also it is frustrating for you to apply to a lot of markets and then, you know, so yeah.
Good ones. If you remember any, you can always jump in. We have a questions from Bird Me Films, and I'm sure you have a name.
Victor,
Oi, Vitor, por favor.
how are you? Well, first, thank you for everything here. I would like to know, I have a project called Slope. I will try Cinemart this year. I came from documentaries and short movies, like art videos, you know, dance videos. When you talk about our links, our work before trying Cinemart, what are you expecting to see? You know, because sometimes I get confused about it, because my producer, she has just one feature film, you know, and I have some documentaries with international, you know, festivals, but I have a lot of like small work as like video art, you know, dance video, short, but my most significant movies are documentaries, you know. What do you think about it? What are you expecting from us, you know, like to see when you're thinking about artistic vision, you know? Yes, that's my question.
Well, I would say that first, thanks, Victor. First of all, to have like all your work within a kind of a one platform, or like a place where we can look at the different kind of work that you've done. Because as you were mentioning, they go from documentaries, from installations, from more kind of a visual arts kind of work, and we do appreciate these kind of things. Believe me, we look at this quite closely, but we need to have also access to it. So I think the first step will be to have, even if they are different kind of work, to have them in a more cohesive portfolio that you can also then show what your work has been in the past, and what you're aiming with a new project. Am I answering your question? I'm not sure.
Yes.
So let me know if, okay.
Yes. You need to see my voice there. No, I think you are telling me that you need to see Victor in every work I'm gonna show you. No,
Yeah,
it's not like,
and also
you know.
since they're different, it's not that we don't look at documentaries if you're planning to submit for a fiction film. It's actually something that it is important for us to have the whole spectrum of the work that you have done in your career up until now. That helps us in understanding who you are as a filmmaker and your vision as a filmmaker in overall.
Can I have one more question? Two, actually. I just finished a new movie now, like it's a documentary, but it's not. I have the link, you know, but it's world premiere yet, you know. Can I say that too? You know, like it's not real finalized. I don't know if you accept that, but I think it's my best work to show, of course.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Definitely.
And the last question, when you're thinking about when you tell us about our project needs to fit with your ideas or something similar that, what do you mean?
Editorial
Am
line,
I-
maybe.
Editor, yeah, exactly, yes. What is that?
I think this is a question that all the festivals in co-production might have been asked all over. But it's what the kind of projects that we want to support. And I think Lara gave a little bit of an overview, a general overview, but we are not very, we're not very specific in a way that we're not only looking for documentaries, we're not only looking for drama fiction. I can give you an example of the kind of selection that we had this year, which was a very, yeah, I use this word already eclectic. But we had, for example, 2 animations in the final selection, 2 very different animations. One was like a folktale project from Poland, and the other one is a Chinese animation about identity. So like these are they're within the same format or the same kind of media, but they are very different. Or for example, we had in the final selection we had a much bigger, like a quite big budget biopic, and it was the story of Lucia Joyce, or like it's based on the biography of Lucia Joyce, who is the daughter of James Joyce. We had like a collective script female project on abortion. So like we kind of select very diverse kind of projects and projects that have that come from different areas, and not just geographically speaking, but project that tells very different stories. And the common line for all of these, or for the general selection of Cinemart, is that they all had a clear vision on how they wanted to tell these stories. And this was reflected in how the filmmakers delivered kind of their intention, and same goes for the producer, and what's then the visual artwork kind of showed us, and the potential of the filmmaker. Did I answer, or am I missing something, Lara?
No, you gave us more than I was expecting. Thank you.
Okay.
That's Alessia. Good. Any other? Thank you, Victor. Anyone else? We're getting close to the end anyway. So, is there any other last question, or did they cover it all? I think it was actually very instructive. So I think nobody is raising their hand. Taj, would you have a last comment, maybe for our crew here?
No, I think you had the chance to talk with Alessia and Lara. And then I think you know better how to prepare the dossier. I highly recommend to do it, because it's a very interesting experience, really rich. And also I think the departing point of you that are maybe doing first and second films here, feature films. So go for it.
Good. Thank you, Taj.
I have only one note in case of like if you have a question or doubts, you can reach out to us, that's for sure. And also, like if you want to stay updated on deadline coming up, selection announcement, or anything related to IFFR Pro, and so not only Cinemart, you can subscribe to our newsletter.
So the
so
email
there
is in the
is
chat. Lara just
email-
sent it. Right. Great. Thank you.
And the link to the newsletter is there. So like all the updates, not just about Cinemart or Pro, but you also receive like call for project for example, for HPF submissions opening for the festival. So anything you need to know about Tiger World.
Yeah,
to
the
be
Tiger
more,
World. And it's important that you know that we actually support also the Brazilian film. If it's selected at Tiger competition, we also have a partnership with Super Bowls Fund. There are many, many opportunities in the universe of IFFR that are amazing and that we have the honor and privilege to be a sort of a partner of. So go, you can do your research on the website, and Alessia was kind enough to share her email. And so I'm sure if you need anything, they will be on the other end to answer. And I really hope that, I thought this conversation was very enlightening and amazing. I want to thank Alessia, Tati, and Lara. I want to thank you all. And I really hope that you, as Tati just said, go for it, and that you're successful, because I'm sure you would be very happy with the experience at Cinemart. I had the chance to be there this year for the first time, and I saw that it's a lot of work and no breaks. And people are just very concentrated and focused and over, really into it. But they were all very, very happy and transformed by the experience. So congratulations on your work. Thank you for making the time to talk to us, and good luck to all of you here. We hope to see you in Rotterdam, maybe.
thank
Thank
you
you,
very much,
everybody.
Thank you.
Projeto Paradiso team. Thank you.